Sometimes technology gives us some issues. So we'll give you a few minutes so that you can get signed on and settled in, and then we'll jump right in, okay?
And maybe while we're waiting here, we'd love to hear from you if you want to type in the chat box what programs you're in.
So if you're just joining us now, we're just going to wait a few minutes and then we'll get started. So if this is your first time joining on Zoom, or if you're on Facebook, I'll start with Zoom, but you'll notice on your screen, you should see an option that says more, and it's got 3 little dots. If you click that, you should be able to see the chat function. So as Lydia mentioned, feel free, type in the chat, introduce yourself, what program you're part of. If you're joining on Facebook, you can do the same. Just type some comments in there. We'd love to hear from all of you. So again, if you're just joining now, welcome. We're just waiting a few minutes and we'll jump right into the how to find your next job session. Ooh, we've got someone from the Craft and Design program at Trafalgar. Awesome, great program.
Welcome.
Okay, I think I see people joining, which is awesome. All right, so I think we'll get started. So hi everyone, welcome to our session on how to find your next job. We're going to introduce ourselves today, but just to give you kind of an overview, you'll see some of us here representing Career Integrated Learning and Student Affairs departments, and we're super excited to be partnering with Sheridan Student Union and Health and Wellness, who have invited us today to talk about this topic. So, to give you a bit of an overview, we're just going to introduce ourselves so you know who's talking to today. We've got an awesome video on the Career Center that we really want to share with all of you that'll give you a bit of information on what we can do and how we can support you. We're going to give you a tour of career cruising, so all about researching careers, which is really important. We'll also tour jobs.sheridan, which is Sheridan's exclusive job search site. And then we're going to be sharing a bit about LinkedIn so that you know how it can help you with your job search. And then we'll just jump into questions. So feel free to, if you have any questions throughout the session, you're welcome to type them in the chat, and we will do our best to answer either throughout the session or at the end of the session. But type any questions you have. We really want to support you through this. We know job searching is definitely a tough topic, so we're here to help you. So please share any thoughts or feedback that you have with us. Okay, so introduction. So who's been talking to for the first few minutes here? My name is Melina. I'm one of the employment consultants for the Sheridan College Career Center. On campus, you would typically find me at the Trafalgar campus there, supporting our students. We also have our 3 other employment consultants here, one of which you'll meet as well today. Our other 2 are Joseph Conrad and Aaron Toms. So Joseph is the employment consultant for HMC, and Aaron is the employment consultant for Davis. And now I'll introduce you to Sharon, who is also one of our employment consultants. Oh, and I think Sharon is muted.
Hi, sorry. I was putting in the message. Thank you. Wonderful world of technology that we're in. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Sharon Swanton. I'm one of the 2 employment consultants that is located normally at the Davis campus. Thanks, Melina.
Thanks, Sharon. And now I'll switch over to our awesome career counselors.
Wonderful. So I'm not sure if Judy's here yet, but I am Lydia Novak. I am reporting to you from virtual Trafalgar campus. And Judy may be joining us shortly. We're looking forward to sharing some of the information around career planning and career research with you shortly.
Awesome. Thanks, Lydia. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to show you an awesome video that we have of the Career Center. So I'm just going to switch over to YouTube so that you can check that out here. I feel like there should be some Jeopardy music right now. Okay, here we go. So just make sure that you've got your sound up so that you can hear this, and I'll switch over.
Oh, I think Judy is here.
That's okay.
Okay.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Hi. Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Welcome to the Career Center. The Career Center provides career education for current students and helps support new graduates and alumni in starting their career. Let's take a closer look at the services available to you.
Career counselors help current students, recent graduates, and alumni explore their career options, discover their career direction, and plan their future. Are you wondering about your career direction and need some support? Career counselors can assist.
Employment consultants provide job search support to current students, recent grads, and alumni. They can help you learn new job search strategies, develop a strong resume and cover letter, and succeed at interviews.
There are many ways to find employment opportunities. One way is to use our online job board. It's open to current students and graduates. You can find it at jobs.sheridancollege.ca.
We offer many events for you to connect with employers. These include our career fairs, industry-specific employer sessions, and recruitment events. Find them on our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages. Follow us today.
Sheridan's Co-Curricular Record, or CCR program, provides students with the opportunity to get involved in their community, make a difference, meet new people, and develop skills and experiences that are valued by employers.
We're open all year long and our services are free. To book an appointment, email us at careercenter@sheridancollege.ca. For more info, go to careercenter.sheridancollege.ca.
So just a little bit about us, and not to worry if you found that you didn't catch the contact information at the end, for example. We do have some slides at the end where we'll share that with you. So I'm going to pop back over to our presentation here. Okay, and I'll pass it over to our career counselors, Judy and Lydia.
So, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judy McKinnon, and my coworker, Lydia. We will be hosting the next perhaps 8 minutes of the presentation, and we are the career counselors. I am predominantly at Virtual Davis, and Lydia already introduced herself as our Trafalgar career counselor. And we get to work with hundreds and hundreds of students every year, helping them with their career decisions, assisting with program information, further education where they might like to go after Sheridan, or if they don't feel they're quite in the right program. We also assist students with issues of career clarity. Sorry, there's a tongue twister there. And helping people understand where their careers may take them to. So we have a beautiful website that we're going to share with you very, very shortly. It is excellent at helping students research their careers that they are considering, helping them discover their education, planning, and so forth. And we're going to cover this very, very shortly. This website is called Career Cruising. And some of you may be familiar. You may have used it in the past. A lot of high schools, colleges, universities faithfully use Career Cruising. We do have a specialized Sheridan password. So our password is quite special in that it shows you a lot of extra information that the local high schools might not. And Lydia will be sharing some of that with you very shortly. So the website is careercruising.com, and the username is Sheridan, and the password, as you can see, is Career Center with an R-E. Now, we have sent out an extensive package of resources and information, and this website is listed in, I think, on page 2 of that package. All right, so Melina, next slide, please. So when you enter Career Cruising, it's a very intuitive, easy to navigate website. It's truly a Canadian product. It's all Canadian schools, salaries, even the jobs Lydia will show you shortly. They're all sourced from Canada. There is a little section if any of you are thinking about studying in the US. For example, after you finish Sheridan, you can actually search out of Canada, but that's a bit of a specialized search. So yes, the part we're going to go into very shortly is all about careers, and it's very exciting. Next slide, please. And again, Lydia will speak on this briefly, but it's so easy to use this website. You can either just type in a keyword, an occupation you're thinking about. Maybe it's human resources, perhaps it's registered practical nursing, etc. You can type it in and it will jump you directly to that information. And you can also search by cluster. Perhaps you're working in the health and medical fields, perhaps business, perhaps sciences and technology. So you can search it that way as well. Next slide. Yes, so now I'm going to turn it over to Lydia, the presentation, and she's going to take you a tour of this wonderful website. Take it away, Lydia.
Thanks so much, Judy. That's wonderful. Hi everyone, Lydia here. There are so many great features about career cruising, which I will tour you around and show you today. And the information here can help with your own career research that can inform your job search. So again, the login is Sheridan, password is Career Center. And let's log in and see how we can use this site. Maybe let's use computer programmer as our sample career. So if we want to go to the careers tab there, yeah. And let's type in computer programmer. Wonderful. We'll search. And there you go. And so computer programmer is a 2-year program at Sheridan. And when we click search, what's really nice about career cruising is that it provides a lot of great information. Think of it as a career library. And it provides it on over about 500 jobs. It also provides great interviews with people in the field, and they give very honest feedback about what it's like to work in that job. So we'll start with this first page called At a Glance. Think of this as a summary of what that career is about. I always like to use this first page to see if a career is a good fit. And so what I recommend is scrolling down to sort of the bottom of the page where you'll see a section called Core Tasks. And that's a great section to look at. And what I always ask myself is, do these tasks sound interesting to me? So this is one way to get a sense of fit. Could you see yourself doing these tasks as a job? Fit is incredibly important when it comes to careers, because when there's a good fit, you're more likely to enjoy the work that you're doing, feel satisfied and happy doing that work, and more likely to be successful. The other section I like to look at as well here is attributes and abilities. So I like to look there and ask myself, do I have these, or are some of these things I need to develop to be successful in the role? These might also be really great keywords to use on your resume because they're going to be important for working in that field. So maybe let's go back up to the top of the page there. And there is a lovely tab called Job Description. It's on the left. And this section is another incredibly helpful section. The reason is sometimes we think we know what a job is about, but often we're missing information. So in this section, you'll get an idea of what the workday looks like for people in that job. You'll get a sense of the type of work or the projects that they work on, where they tend to work, and other important information about the role. So in this case, for computer programmer, the very last paragraph actually shares that people in this field are often grouped into 2 broad types: applications programmers and systems programmers. So if I were a computer programming student, I might start to ask myself, where do I see myself fitting in these 2 roles? The next section that we can take a look at is earnings. Now, many of us are curious about what entry salaries might be and what the average salaries might be coming out of the careers that we're in. So this is very helpful to give you an idea of Canadian salaries for that particular occupation. This is one source of information, but to get the best picture, I always recommend checking at least 2 to 3 other sources as well. You might be wondering though, why might it be important to research salaries? And the answer is, when it comes to interviews, you might be asked what your salary expectations are. So you would want to have done some research and give a good range in terms of expectations. The next section is actually one of my favorite sections. It's sample career path. And the reason I like it is because most of us are going into programs not to stay at an entry-level job for life. Many of us want to advance and move up the ladder. And so this section gives a really great idea about what career advancement can look like for that particular job. It also gives sample titles. So those might be some titles that you'll search for in your own job search. What you'll see here is what salaries come out entry level, what the educational requirements are, and what the responsibilities are. And as you keep moving up to the different levels and keep moving up the ladder, what's helpful is it shows you how those may change as you advance. So this can really help you when it comes to career planning, gives you a sense of the next steps. The other section that I'll talk about is related careers. So I like this tab because it's helpful to see what other jobs are connected to the field that I'm in. And that way you can get an idea of other opportunities that might also be available to you that use some of the same skill sets. You know, one of the biggest things when it comes to careers is we don't know what we don't know, right? And so this is a great way to start figuring out, well, what are the other connections? And this can sometimes help you find out and refine what it is that you want to do. So it can help with career clarity, as Judy mentioned. Finally, I want to share with you a really great feature of Career Cruising. We do pay extra for this, and that is a little box at the bottom that says Job Search. So if you want to click on Find Jobs, what you can do is actually start to look for jobs that are real-time job postings. And what I always recommend is enter Toronto as the location because it can cast the widest net, but it will allow you to see some of the occupations that are within that area. So let's take a look and see what we find. So here, there's 315 different results. And what I recommend is for you to click through some of those different occupations and jobs that are listed. Maybe let's start with computer programmer for the first one. Wonderful. And I always recommend that students review the job posting very carefully. Take a look at the skills that are needed and some of the technical requirements as well as experience. And that way you can see if a job is maybe a good fit with what you have. And so these are just sort of an interesting tour of the key features of Career Cruising to help you as you do your career research and do your job search. I always recommend really make sure that you're reading the job descriptions carefully. But on that note, I hope you enjoyed the tour of Career Cruising. I'm going to pass it on to my colleague Sharon to talk a little bit more about job search. She'll be speaking about Sheridan's exclusive job search website, jobs.sheridan. So over to you, Sharon.
Great, thank you, Lydia. Now, just for those of you tuning in, just to let you know, we're the Career Center, and we're facilitating a presentation to you on how to find your next job. So, along with me, Sharon, I'm joined by my colleagues, Melina, Judy, and Lydia, and hopefully you'll be able to get some information from this session that you can use in your own job search. So the section that I'll be speaking to today is about our exclusive job search website for Sheridan College, which is jobs.sheridan. So you can find jobs.sheridan by entering the website here at the below, http://jobs.sheridancollege.ca. You will notice that there is no www. So we want to make sure that, that you're not putting that in because it won't take you to the right page. Now, if we were entering into the site, one thing to note is that you do have to pre-register. Oh, we have another friend joining us. So you do have to pre-register with your Sheridan College One Card ID number in order to gain access to this program. So this website is for students and for graduates of Sheridan College. So if I can get Melina to log in for me, which she probably is doing right now.
Yep, just about to switch over here.
Yeah. So Jobs at Sheridan is a website that we ask our employer partners to post any opportunities that they might have. They might either be looking to hire a student that has recently graduated from a certain program. There are some of our employer partners that are looking for co-op opportunities. So co-op postings are also listed through this website, but for not everybody has access to the co-op jobs. Everyone does have access to the jobs posted in the Career Center. And just to let you know, when you do log in, initially you'll get this pop-up, and it just is our disclaimer agreement that talks about job postings during the COVID pandemic, and kind of what our responsibilities are with regards to looking into those kinds of opportunities and looking into those employers, and as well as job scams and kind of what to do if you encounter that or you feel like you're a victim of a job scam. So I'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the presentation. In order for you to advance to view the jobs in Jobs at Sheridan, you do have to say that you agree and not just close the window because you won't have access to it. I can see that Jimmy has a question. So can this be used for internships and co-ops? So our co-op team does share the Jobs at Sheridan website with the Career Center, but only students who are registered in the co-op program have access to co-op jobs. So that would, so that is only for a portion of the students to access the co-op jobs, but everyone, all students and alumni, new graduates would have access to the jobs in the Career Center. So hopefully that addressed it. And I can see my colleagues are typing a response as well, so that's great, thank you. So when you log into the screen of Jobs at Sheridan, you'll get to this initial screen, and I'll just point out to the navigation on the left side of the panel. Some of them we do have to reconnect to our new pages, so some of them are not working, but for the most part, the links that do work are the maps. So if you want a quick link to see a map to locate that employer, where are they located compared to where you live, you can always click on that and it will take you to a page that has access to a bunch of maps like Google Maps, Bing Maps. There is a Your Information section on the navigation as well, and that is just to confirm the information that you inputted when you registered for the site. There is a Your Resume, so if you want to upload some resumes, that's where you would go to do that, and then you would have them on hand. And then there's a log out and change password. So if you want to change your password, that's where you will do that. And if you are using a shared computer, you might want to log out of that as well. So the most important aspect and navigation panel to know is where the job postings section is, because that's what we're going to go into today. So if you click on where it says job postings, it will take you to a page that has all of our job postings listed below. How often that we post, how often we get postings, it really just depends. We don't have a certain amount of postings. I couldn't tell you that we have 20 postings in the fall semester and 50 in the winter semester. It doesn't work like that. So it's just whenever an employer has a request, we ask them to post this request on here. And you'll see from the categories at the top that there's job number, the employer, job title, the status of the job type, the sub job type, which is if you're looking for a part-time job, summer job, contract job, that will be there, as well as the city, the number of positions that they're looking for. And then towards the end, you'll see when they've posted the position and when it will be closing, which is also very important as well. And what's nice about these categories, sorry, I should mention this, is if you're only looking for a job in a specific city, you can actually click on the word city in that navigation at the top, and it will reorder all of the jobs according to city alphabetically. So as you can see, that's what Melina did, and so it reordered all the jobs according to Aurora because that starts with A, so it goes first, and then it goes in sequential fashion down the alphabet. That's great. Thank you. Melina, could I just get you to click back onto the posting date? And I think that will get reset everything. Thanks. So one of the jobs that we'll look at, so we'll show you how to get into a job and what is it that you should look for in a job description. So on the side here, if you want to see more about that particular posting, you would actually click on the job number. If you already have the company in mind that you're looking for, then you're more than welcome to look into that search bar at the very top, and you can search for title or by employer. So one of the jobs that I've found was from CargoJet, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to find that one, but let's put that in. Good idea. So we'll use that search bar and we can see if we can find it. Okay, great. So to open the job, we click on the job number, and that will show up here. So there's a couple of details here for you to notice. So the company details, it's more like a snapshot about the company. They'll also list where their address is and possibly their website, and that's if the company inputs that. So we don't input that information, the company does that. As well as the information and the job details. So some of the information that is really important that students really want to know is especially about salary and the closing date for the job. So you'll see that salary, it's TBD, is to be determined. So the employer would probably have that conversation with that person to negotiate a salary. But what's more important is the closing date. So you'll see what the closing date and the time is for you to submit your application through here. Now, if we scroll further on, we will see with the job description section, and not all employers fill this out very well, but a very well written job description will have a lot of information that you'll be able to take from and input into your job search when you're doing your research, when you're creating your resume, when you're creating your cover letter, and perhaps even using during an interview. So most job descriptions like this one has that initial paragraph where it describes the company and kind of what its mandate is. If you scroll down towards the rest of the posting, they'll also have information such as position responsibilities and qualifications. So most job postings are sectioned in that way in terms of position responsibilities, which is detailing what that prospective candidate may do when they're hired to do that job, as well as the qualifications section. And Melina, can I just get you to scroll up a little bit more for me, please? That's great. So there's a minimum qualification section, and those are the skills that the employer would like you to have when you apply for the job. So very often as employment consultants, we get this question of, I don't have all of that experience. I haven't worked with that specific group of people. Can I apply for this job? So usually we suggest if you have 70% of the minimum qualifications that the employer is looking for, barring anything that's mandated that you have to have, such as licenses or certifications, then you should apply for the job. So the magic number there is 70% of what that posting is looking for in terms of your qualifications. So ideally you want to read this over. Everything in the job posting is really important, and it will help you to understand more about the job. And as Lydia had mentioned in her presentation about best fit, it also helps you to assess if you'd be a good fit for that job as well. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Erin. Erin said that she hasn't heard of that fact. It's good to know. So that's good. I'm glad that you got something new out of here. If you scroll down a little bit more, then you can also see how to apply for that job. And if you click here to apply, you'd either be able to see the website that the employer is directing you to apply through, or to the employer directly themselves. So you'll see actually in the job description, the employer actually listed their email address and fax number. So you can also respond to that posting through email or fax. And again, the email address is listed there in the applying for this job. So there's quite a lot of information. Really take your time to look at the job posting, see what's involved, especially if it's a longer job posting. The employer takes a lot of time to write those, and with the purpose that it will be read in its entirety. So take your time to really dissect and digest the information it is that they're trying to tell you, so you'd be able to use this information when you're creating your resume and cover letter to apply. Sadnet wanted to know, do you have access to Jobs at Sheridan after graduation? Yes, you would. So Jobs at Sheridan is for students and graduates of Sheridan College. So you'd be able to access it as an alumni. That's great. Lena, can I get you to switch back to the presentation part quickly? I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about job scams because that's something that happens often, unfortunately. And just to let you know what to do if you might be scammed, and how do you identify if a job possibly is a scam. So unfortunately, with the amount of jobs that come through, sometimes we're not able to kind of police the Jobs.Sheridan site. We just don't have the capacity to do that. So our trust is that the employers that are posting on our site are posting for legitimate positions. However, sometimes, and that can happen with any job search site, that there are positions that are not very legitimate. So how would you know then if you have access to, or you might have access to a scam or a potential job scam? Sorry, there's a question that came up. So Puneet wanted to know, I am enrolled in Marketing Management Co-op program for January 2021 intake. So can I have the access for it? I'm not 100% sure. I believe once you're registered as a student, you would probably have access to this. What you need to have, Puneet, is your one card ID. So as long as you have your one card ID number to register to access Jobs.Sheridan, then I think you'd be able to have access to that. So some things to note for if the job might be a scam is, especially if you are asked to provide your SIN number, your social insurance number, before you have an actual job offer. So remember that your social insurance number is really important to have, so you want to be able to guard that as much as possible until you have the actual job. If your role expectations are different from the original job description, if you must deposit a check or money transfer to take out cash or buy gift cards to send to the employer, that's a big red flag. And unfortunately, we hear of a lot of scam jobs, jobs that scam that do that. They ask you to purchase something from money that they gave to you, but then there is no money and you're stuck. If you're offered a job without having an interview or a position that you didn't apply to. So actually that happened quite recently to a student that I was meeting with regards to interviews, and she told me this, that she received a job offer, but she didn't actually interview with the company. So I just told her, research the company and just try to get some more information to make sure it's legitimate. If the company is offering you pay in Bitcoins or cryptocurrency, that might be a red flag as well. If you have to pay first for training, it could be a scam as well. So you definitely don't want to be providing an employer any kind of money, and even if they're telling you to deposit something. And you know that saying, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So that might apply here too in terms of pay, the job description, clientele you'll be servicing, all of those things. So just be aware, if something doesn't seem right, you're probably right. It's really a gut instinct. And there are some places though, in case if you realize that, you know what, I did give this employer my social insurance number, I better see what I can do to help resolve this issue. So there are some places that you can contact. So if you think that you're a victim of a job scam, then these are the same steps that are posted on the Jobs.Sheridan website. But you'll definitely want to file a complaint with the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, which the website is here. Contact your local police departments. So at the Davis campus, it's in Brampton, so you'll be contacting Peel Regional Police. Halton Regional Police as for our Oakville friends, Peel Regional Police as well for HMC, and notify us immediately. So just send us an email to let us know which posting it is, so we can also conduct some investigations on our side as well. And just one more thing I wanted you to note was that when you're applying for jobs, just keep in mind about your rights under the Employment Standards Act. So it covers things like minimum wage, hours of work, public holidays, vacation, all of those things. So you can access the current version of the Employment Standards Act by clicking on this link, as well as you can always phone them if you have any kinds of questions that you might want to ask. Okay, now going back to that job posting that we reviewed before with CargoJet, I mentioned that the employer's email is listed there. So you could just email the employer, but it's always helpful to research the employer a little bit more on LinkedIn before applying for that particular job. So on that note, I'll introduce you to my colleague Melina, who will speak more about LinkedIn for your job search.
Perfect, thanks Sharon. And if anybody is joining us now, just to let you know, this is our session on how to find your next job. And the session is being recorded, so it will be posted on Facebook if you did miss the first half. But I'm going to talk about LinkedIn now. So LinkedIn is one of the, I guess, largest professional networking platforms online. And I'm going to talk about 2 ways that you can use LinkedIn for your job search. And just to do a Career Center plug here, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, it is something that we can support you with. So if you're looking to build a profile so that you can use it to job search, feel free to reach out to us and we can help you with that. Or if you already have a LinkedIn profile and you're just looking to develop it a bit further, we can also help you with that too. So I'll show you the 2 ways that we can job search with LinkedIn. So the first thing I'm going to show you here, if you could see my screen, is I've logged into my personal LinkedIn account here. So there are some things that will be tailored specifically to me and the content in my profile. So that's why you might notice a few things when I point them out to you. But what I've done is I've gone to linkedin.com, logged in, and the first thing I did was I clicked at the tab here at the top, Jobs. Okay, so we've clicked on Jobs now. What you'll see right away is right now LinkedIn is promoting jobs in the healthcare industry. So you'll see that here at the top. So if you are looking at something like that, that is a decision that you'd have to make on your own, but you could click those jobs here if it is something that you wanted to explore. However, we're going to jump into the search feature here. So what I'm going to show you is how you can search for the jobs that are posted on LinkedIn. So here you'll see you can search by job title. You can search by a certain skill that you feel you might have, or you can search by a specific company that you might be interested in. And then what you can do is you can narrow down on the location. So the good thing about LinkedIn is that it is open, of course, to jobs in Ontario. If, down the road you were looking for jobs in other areas, you can look at other locations as well. So you can choose that here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look for a sales associate position here. And I'm going to look in the Toronto area. Because as Lydia mentioned, typing in something like Toronto gives you more of that broad search. Okay, so now that I've typed in here the sales associate position, you'll see lots of different positions popping up on the left side here. So you can scroll through. And you'll notice that the positions that come up here are not only sales associate, but other job titles that have the word sales in it. So that's why you'll see things like produce sales associate, renewal sales representative, sales associate Sherway Gardens. The really cool feature about this too is, let's say you say to yourself, I love that there's so many opportunities for a sales associate or a computer programmer or HR specialist. You can actually turn a job alert on for yourself. So that feature is here at the top. So I'm going to click that feature. And LinkedIn gives you the option to get job alerts for these types of positions. And you have the option. So if you want LinkedIn to send you messages every day about the newest opportunities for a sales associate role, you can click daily. Or if that might be a little bit too much, you can also choose the weekly option here. So every week, LinkedIn will send you those updates as to the new jobs that are available for that specific sales associate role. And then you can also choose if you want just emails or just notifications if you've got the mobile app, or if you want both, you can choose that as well. So I'm going to click both, and I want weekly updates, and then all you have to do is save that there for yourself. So now you've created an alert, and you can do that for multiple jobs. So it doesn't have to be just one, but you can do it for quite a few there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this sales associate role for Sherwin-Williams in the Etobicoke area. So you'll see the position pops up here on the right-hand side. We've got the job title, company name, location, when the position was posted, which is really good to note. So this is pretty recent. It's been posted a week ago. 85 views. So this is how many people have actually clicked on this role now to take a look at it, just like we're doing right now together. If you get stuck and you think, you know, I'm going to take some time to do my resume, so I can't apply just yet, you can save the position so that you can come back to it later. Or, you know, we'll come back to this apply button in a little bit once we kind of go through the posting, but you've got that apply feature at the top too. Now, this is one thing I really like about the LinkedIn jobs is that you can actually see how many people have applied to the position already. So it's been posted now for a week, and LinkedIn is telling us that 19 people have applied to this. And another thing I really like too is that it's telling us what type of role it is. So, you know, sometimes you might find a position posted on Indeed or another job search website, and we don't know, you know, are they looking for a senior manager, or is this an entry-level position? So luckily, this one tells us that it's an entry-level role. So if we're still, you know, studying at Sheridan, we know we can apply to this, or if we've recently graduated, we can apply. Company information, how many employees are there, and also what the industry is. So they've narrowed it down to chemicals. And now this is one thing that I want to show you. So because, again, I'm logged into my profile, it's tailoring this part here to the information on my LinkedIn profile. You'll see here, because I work at Sheridan College, it's telling me that there's one other individual who has also worked at Sheridan at one point, who works for Sherwin-Williams now. And because I went to McMaster University, it's also telling me that there's 15 graduates from McMaster University that now work at Sherwin-Williams. So I'm going to show you in a little bit how you can use that to your advantage. So you'll see we've got an introduction to the company, explains a little bit about who they are. This information is really helpful for you as you're preparing a cover letter to submit to this role, because you always want to talk a little bit about, you know, what is it about that company that draws you into wanting to work for them. So you've got that intro. And then we see a bit here talking about that specific position. So what is it that they're looking for? Basic qualifications, so it's telling us exactly what they want. So as Sharon mentioned, I mean, if you've got about 70% of what's listed here, definitely go ahead and apply if it's something you're interested in. But be sure to read through all of those qualifications that they're looking for and try to incorporate some of this into the resume and cover letter that you submit to the position. Okay, and a bit more about the company here. We've got the primary location, so it's telling you where your work location would be, so you know it's at Etobicoke. And I see we've got a question here. And the question is, should I send a cover letter for every position I've been applying to? So I'm really glad that you asked this. My suggestion would be yes. So even if you see a job posting that doesn't mention anything about a cover letter, I would always recommend to submit a cover letter no matter what, because that sort of shows the employer that you took the extra time, you put that effort in, and it gives you a chance to explain a bit more about yourself. So definitely always submit a cover letter for every position that you find. And if you don't have a cover letter or you need any help with it, that's also something that we can definitely support you with. Okay, and if we keep scrolling down here, It's telling us some more information. So is there travel involved if we do get the job? The job posting. So when was it actually put up onto LinkedIn? The schedule. So we know it's a part-time position. So yes, this is something that potentially we could do while we're studying at Sheridan. And then again, it talks about, you know, entry level, part-time, the industry, and some of those job functions. So sales as well as some business development. So as I mentioned before, we've got one person who used to work at Sheridan who now works at Sherwin-Williams, 15 graduates from MAC that went to Sherwin-Williams. So because I'm a graduate, so what I would do here, I'll show you how you can use that feature as a Sheridan graduate. What you can do is you can actually click on this. So maybe I'll click on the alum. So I clicked on the Sheridan alum, so someone who's worked at Sheridan. And what that does is it now shows me somebody who I potentially could have a connection with, meaning that we both have a connection to Sheridan College. So Mohammed works in marketing management, works at Sherwin-Williams. So what you can do now is you can click connect. And this is another way now that you can use LinkedIn to job search. This is more of tapping into a hidden job market where you're networking with somebody from the company. Now, I'm not just going to click done. I'm going to add a note here for Mohammed. And what I'm going to do is I have 300 characters here where I can add a message in for this individual and introduce myself. So I might say, hello, I'm also and I'm going to use recent graduate. I'm also a recent graduate from Sheridan College. I graduated from the Art Fundamentals program, and I'm looking to get a job in Sherwin-Williams as a sales associate. Do you have some time to connect and share some info with me about the role? Thanks, Melina. So just sharing a bit of a message here with this individual, you're connecting to them through Sheridan, you're telling them that you're in the Art Fundamentals program, which connects to Sherwin-Williams, and then you're letting them know that you're interested in learning more about the sales associate position. So this, again, is something that we can help you with in the Career Center to further support you on how you can build a message like this, because now I can click done, and hopefully Mohammed will accept my request and send me a response so that we can chat more about this position here. So that there is how you can use LinkedIn. So I'm seeing a question here. I'm graduating this term, so am I able to access Sheridan's career resources after that? So yes, absolutely. If you are currently graduating in the next little bit, or if you've already graduated from Sheridan, whether it's been a year, 5 years, or 10 years, you still have access to the Career Center. So feel free to reach out to us for sure if you need any support. So I'm just going to jump back over here to the presentation. So that's a little bit about LinkedIn. One thing I want to mention too, some really, really exciting news is our Sheridan Student Union has just launched some new on-campus opportunities for students, so really, really exciting. And most, I would say, all of the positions are remote opportunities. So you do have access to apply to these jobs. If you're a student at Sheridan, you can click on the link here. So it's www.thessu.ca. And thank you, SSU, for posting that in the chat as well. And then you can click on the jobs tab at the top, or you can click on the link that SSU shared in the chat, and it'll take you directly to their jobs. take a look. They've got lots of great positions, so you can check out each role and see what you might be interested in so that you can apply. Okay, so we're just coming to the end of the session, so we want to kind of open it up and see if anybody has any questions at all for us. Feel free, type them in the chat if you do. So we'll give you a few minutes to do that. We're also, SSU has shared a handout that we've created. So you'll see that in the chat. So you can download the handout, and we've got a lot of great resources in that handout that you can take a look at. Okay, so we've got a question. What are the possibilities of getting co-op jobs during this pandemic? Good question. I know the pandemic has brought on a lot of uncertainty, you know, a lot of uncertainty for both job seekers and employers. So it is definitely a tough time. However, we've got an amazing co-op team who's really worked hard in the last few months, extra hard, to put together a VIP program. So it's a virtual internship program. So, so there's two options there where, you know, of course, there are still employers hiring for co-op opportunities. Some of those opportunities might be remote positions, but then in addition to that, our co-op team has developed this virtual internship program to give co-op students another avenue so that you can still get those great skills and experience. See if I can share the link with you here too.
Somebody wants to know how to access it, Melina.
Perfect. So I'll share the link here in the chat. So when you click on the link here in the chat, you'll see that the virtual internship program has 3 streams that co-op students can choose from. So, you know, you can take a look and read through that. I would definitely recommend, if you're currently in the co-op program, to reach out to your co-op advisor, as they'll have the most up-to-date information about the VIP program. Well, thanks for sharing that feedback, Alyssa. We're sending you positive vibes that it all goes well, and glad to hear the content's valuable. So as we're waiting for questions, more questions to come in, our Sheridan Student Union is going to be sharing a link in the chat. So if you could please click on the link, we would love to hear your feedback about today's session. So feel free, complete that evaluation. And then we are still here for another minute or two to share that information with you. We do have some Career Center resources here as well. We have our Employer Services team, which we mentioned at the beginning in the video, who hosts a lot of events for our students to connect to employers or different industry partners. Our co-curricular record program as well. So definitely I'll show you the Career Center website where you can check out more of this information. But if you're looking to get experience in different areas, you can check out the co-curricular program at Sheridan as well. And then we've talked a little bit about the services with both employment consultants and career counselors. So feel free, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. If you do want to book a one-to-one appointment, we're offering those virtually at this time. So you're welcome to connect with us for that. So I'll jump over here. In the handout that SSU has shared in the chat, we've included this pandemic checklist for careers. So if you're not sure how to look for work, or if you want some different resources to support you in looking for work, it's a great checklist. There's a lot of different links that you can click through. It is also posted on the blog that was posted online. Got some awesome workshops that we have coming up too. There's a few that are happening in the next 2 weeks or so. So if you are interested in attending any of the virtual workshops on interviews, Discover You, you can email us at careerready@sheridancollege.ca so that you can attend one of those workshops. Another really cool thing I'm going to squeeze in here is that we have career chats happening. If you want to chat with one of our employment consultants or career counselors, you can drop into our session on August 5th between 12 to 1 p.m. So you can drop in at any time and just ask one of the questions there that you have and hear from one of our staff members. And we do have our social media channels that you'll find on our website, which I will bring you to just here. So all of this information can be found at careercenter.sheridancollege.ca.
I'm just looking at the chat, Melina. I don't see that there's any other questions that haven't been addressed.
Okay. Perfect. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you so much, everyone. We're so happy that we were able to connect with you. Thank you to Sheridan Student Union and Health and Wellness for allowing us to jump on here and connect with all of you. So thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.